All right, we're back over here at the pond project. What we're doing here is going to take this other side out. It's kind of steep, just like the other side was. I call this kind of a two-part, simply because right here in the center where I'm at, there's a standpipe, what they call a overflow pipe, that runs out. That's where the biggest trees are, right there. I try to stay away from it, make sure that I don't get into it, and then staying away from it, I'm also causing myself another problem, that it has all those trees. I will get in there and cut those at some point. We got all the rest of this. I've got just one spot here I'm gonna come and clean up, and then we'll start down the back side of this dam. Let's walk over here and we'll take a look at kind of what I've already got done. Where you see that little pile of trees right there, there's a big hump in there, and the reason that is, this pond was built possibly, I'm going to say, about 32 years ago, and in that time, that was a big pile of trees that came out of where the pond was built, and they have finally just rotted and went to soil. But on top, it makes for a good growing ground for everything else that wants to grow up. I'll pan around here. Here's what we got done the other day. Got into some rough trees right along in there, but I'll set you up. We'll get started on this other side and see how everything goes. Okay, as you can see kind of behind me there, there's still a group of those trees that are up there over what I call the spillway, the standpipe, the overflow pipe, or whatever. We're going to leave them there for right now. We're going to go ahead and go over to the other pond and go back on that dam, and we're going to see what we can get done there. I'll come back at a later time and we'll go through this, and we'll go ahead and cut those trees, and I'll record that, but we're going to wait for that a little bit later time. I'd like to kind of give that a little time because of the snakes, a little time that it's cool in the morning or something like that, so they're a little slower. But let's jump over to the pond. We'll be there in a minute. Okay, this is the second pond dam. As you can tell, there's an old tree down there that they had died. Several of them had died after they had got blown down in one of our windstorms, tornadoes, whatever you want to call it. We did have a tornado, but it was not right here on top of us. It's just a tree that got blown over. You can see what it looks like down there. It's pretty doggone rough. We'll walk on across the dam a little bit here. We'll walk on across the dam here. You can see there's some trees that I didn't get. This standpipe in this pond, and of course we've been dry here where I'm at for over a month, almost 2 months. And this is just what they call a watershed pond. So as you can look out there, it's kind of hard. Let me see if I can get you up here to see. You can see how far it is down on the standpipe. Got a lot of trees on the dam that I need to take out. We come across here, take a look, and you can see what it looks like. This is going to be quite a job. I've always had this tree down here. I really don't want to take it down. It's a good, pretty white oak, and I really didn't want to take it down. But it does make for a job when you have to try to get around it when you're going down this dam. We'll get some good video when we do start this. And try to get it pulled down. Sorry about the sun. It's kind of coming in at the wrong angle, but I'll walk on down. Let me walk down real quick. We'll take a look back up. Sun won't be as bad. But you see what I'll be fighting. I'll probably have to stop. I'll probably have to take out the saw and work on it a little bit. But we'll see what we can get done. We can see how much better we can look. I hear all the time on other videos and other people's videos about trying to keep up a place that might be over, say, 5 acres, or that might be over just your yard. When it comes to that, that's why I call it lost on the farm. It is hard to find the time. It's hard to get there. You work all week, you work 40 hours. Let's just say you work 40 hours a week, and then all of a sudden you're posed with doing something on the weekend. You can't go out with your family, you can't go out with friends, because you are tied to a piece of property. You have to love what you do. You have to love to be living on the land or living in a place where you're not crowded up against someone. But it's all personal preference. So let's go up there and get the tractor. It should be warmed up by now, and let's get to going. All right, we're over here to the other pond. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try to back into here because it is so bad and everything. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to back in, and hopefully you can get a good look at it and see how rough it is. But we're going to go ahead and try to get this one fixed up and kind of get it to where it looks a little better. guys, the camera kept turning off, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put you here in the cab. Your eyeball might get a little dirty, but we're gonna start backing down in here and see what we can get. see back there, there's an old road bed. That thing was back before 1960. It was built in there, and it's stayed there till today. I mean, they must have had it hard packed. It's no longer traveled. It's too thick. It's grown up. Back in the day, people would come in there and they would not only travel it for a logging road, but they also traveled it because there was a nice swimming hole back there. People didn't have swimming pools back then. They just went to a nice place in the creek that was deep and shallow on both sides and used it as a swimming hole. So that was always their swimming hole.
It's a little hard to clean. Like I see now, there's going to be a few trees cut, and you can hang up, it'll be better. That's why I'm still in that, so it's so much lighter.
get out and look where the overflow pipe is on this one, and I'll be right back.